in my notes I mentioned undertones. So this is a demonstration having to do with that and a couple of other qualities of pigment. So what I have here is burnt umber, raw umber, burnt sienna, cobalt blue dark, and naphtha red light. And this is the way they look straight out of the tube. If I then lighten the color and make it more transparent, then you get the undertone. It looks very different. So I'll do the same thing for the raw umber. They're similar but slightly different. To me, this one looks a little greener. That's just a hint of green. It's not something you would identify as green if you were naming the color. But it's those subtleties that we have to learn to work with, if we use subtleties at all. So here is the burnt sienna. And that's what happens to it if you thin it out or ripe it off to make it more transparent. Somehow a little glue got mixed in there. There's the cobalt blue dark hue. It's the names of the pigments that I've given you. And the more I wipe this off, the more transparent it gets, and the lighter it gets. And here's the naphthol red light. Nice strong color. Looks kind of lipsticky. And all of these qualities vary with the different pigments, and some of them the difference between the transparent and the opaque is quite striking, and some of them not so different. And what you have to do is experiment with the pigments that you have to see what happens. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some white in with the canvas, and the way I'm going to do is I'll put some white down for each of the colors. And now I'm going to take, that's probably too much white, take some more, put it over here. So here's the burnt umber with white in it. So notice how much warmer this color is than this color. When you add white to burnt umber, it gets cooler, and of course lighter when you add white to it. And then there's the quality of tinting power, which belong to different pigments, and maybe even different paint manufacturers. Let me get some more of that raw umber. So if a pigment has a high tinting power, it takes less of it mixed with another color to retain the color power of the first of the color that we're talking about. So that's the slight difference between the burnt umber and the raw umber. And to my eyes, in this variation, the raw umber seems grayer when white is added to it than the burnt umber. So here's the burnt sienna. With white added to it. And again, it gets more pastel-y looking is what I would say, as opposed to the burnt umber that is just thinned out, using its transparency to get its lightness. So that's a good comparison because they're not far from each other in terms of value, lightness and darkness. And you can see how much richer it is when you use the transparency rather than the mixing. Here's the cobalt blue deep. Did a very good job of wiping that back. Get all the white off the knife. Take some more of the blue. Move it here. And then make it more transparent by wiping it off. And there you can see the comparisons of the effect of the different colors. In a certain way, this seems to me more acidic, and this seems more alkaline. Of course, that's metaphor. And now to the naphthol red light. And this one I find really surprising because the naphthol red light mixed with white is more pinker, more crimson than it is when it's just thinned out. So you're getting three very different effects from each of those colors without adding another color. And I advise exploring those possibilities and finding ways of using it in the creation of a painting.